Good afternoon, Crimson Tide Nation, and welcome to the 10th edition of Crimson Tide Live from yours truly, Jackson Johnson, and my partner in crime, Johnny Burts, as we bring you the latest news and notes on the Alabama Crimson Tide and our takes on what's going on the bye week, what we need to do during that time, our recap on Alabama, Missouri. Is there a scenario where we can go to the SEC title game? And our scenario to get back to the playoffs. Let me tell you something, it'll be a wild ride. How you doing today, Johnny?
Doing good, doing good. Voice a little scratchy, so I apologize to anybody listening or everybody listening. But I don't know, the weather, it's fall, and it's just all day long. It's just gotten worse and worse.
Well, sometimes we get our bad days for sure. Like,
Yeah, yeah. The air's been kind of dry, which is fine. I love it. Here in Alabama, it's so humid, so the air's dry. But I guess there's an adjustment we have to make with regard to dry air and our vocal cords and all that kind of stuff. So I'm kind of struggling with that, but I feel great.
well, I'll tell you something. It'll be we always got those ragweeds in Alabama. It's a
Yeah,
weird one. I
yeah,
hate those things. It's like, good grief, get away from us. I thought allergy
yeah.
season was over. And to start off show, let's tell everybody about the latest book from Mark Rogers himself that is coming out full release as a whole tomorrow on Amazon. The Disputed National Champions, College Football's Historical 1990 Reset, where you will learn quite a lot on what happened in the 90s in all of college football, how the decade changed the sport, why the championship results should be questioned, how to critically think through the scenarios to appreciate the accomplishments of teams that were not recognized as champions. This book provides an in depth analysis of the changes, controversies, and outcomes that defined a decade of college football. And I'll tell you something, it's definitely a must get for the Christmas season. It's gonna so if you're looking to do some holiday shopping, now's a good time to do it by buying this book from Mark Rogers himself. He is a go to in all of college football. I know he's a go to for all of us. Yep. Got ourselves a great night tonight. And we basically just kind of just got our groove back. Or so it looks
Yeah.
like.
Took a little while. The biggest thing for me is I thought it was a lot better on defense, a lot better on defense, and I think that kind of set the tone. Offense finally started getting some big plays they've been missing, and the longer the game went, the more confident Alabama appeared to be. And then breaking those big plays really, really, really helped. Second half was awesome. First half, don't get me wrong, I thought it was good defensively, pretty much all the way through. The first half was excellent. Um, a couple little glitches with penalties and things of that nature, but a lot better, and something really, really good going into this open week.
Yeah. I mean, we had some real. Our running game was a lot better. As we went over on Saturday, it was a lot better for that. For those that didn't tune in to the post game show, we talked quite a lot about the running game getting a lot better for Alabama. I mean,
Yeah, when we look at
we're still undisciplined, but not quite as where we were the past few weeks.
yeah, it was a lot better with regard to execution. We kind of sputtered around there a little bit in the first half, still, that kind of scenario. But in the second half, it really, once we started popping those big plays, everybody started getting excited. Um, and good things happened. It just, the whole game, it seemed, as the game progressed, Alabama was getting better and better. The confidence was getting, was coming back. The seeds of doubt would kind of, hopefully put them to rest. And now we got an open week to get, people healthy, and it couldn't have been happened at a better time against a good football team. That was a 6-1 Missouri team. They were pretty good. I know they had some injury problems, stuff like that, but overall, it was a very good, dominating performance by Alabama.
Yeah, and yeah, it was pretty huge on what happened. Like our defense, they got serious real quick.
Yeah, exactly, and seemed to be a lot better positioning. And the first thing when we start going through these photos and clips and stuff like that, one of the first things I noticed was right off the bat, first play of the game, Alabama had a 4-man front. Remember we
Yeah,
talked about it the last couple of weeks. We've been hammering that 3-3-5, 3-man front, not being able to get pressure. And opening series, first play, first down, boom. I saw the 4-man front and I said, we're good to go. And it happened. Now I don't know if the reason being is because Cook, the quarterback from Missouri, is hurt. He's not a great scrambler or a speedy guy, things like that. But I thought the transition to that 4-man front made it was a huge difference with regard to the way the team played and tackling and covering space and things like that.
yeah,
Great decision. I hope they
agreed.
stay in it. I'm not a big on the 3-man front. To me, that's prevent defense, Hail Mary defense. I am not a big advocate.
Oh man, Base Freeze doing the
Over
mess
there, I saw
around
a spiral.
today. Oh man, yeah, Base Freeze is doing the mess around with you today, man. It's like, this is probably why Garfield hates Mondays, because stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we saw this, like we saw a 4-man rush.
Yeah,
So
that's what I'm
what was
talking
going
about
on
right
there?
there. Right there. I mean, it's good. It's balanced. You can see we're playing off a little bit in the secondary. Well, not. It's a soft. What it is it's a man free. It's a soft man free. And what's going to happen when you run the clip? You're going to see we have a 4-man front, and then the free safety is going to rotate up as they motion, and then the safety on the bottom of the screen is going to rotate back, but it basically winds up being man free defense. Yeah, and you see the motion. You can see one safety coming up, the other safety going back, and then now you're starting to get into man-free defense. And then look at the safety coming up and blowing the play up right off the bat. 4-man front, good call, good defense, no problem with regard to that. That's just a simple man-free.
Yeah,
And just after that, it just kept getting a little better and a little better and a little better, more secure with what we were doing, better tackling, just better execution altogether. Good physicality. Yeah. So it just kind of continued throughout the game. I felt really good.
here we go. And we saw this play. Well, wonder what was going on there.
All right. Well, this play right here was not a very good job with execution with the offense. And so you see the yellow lines that I have right there. Those are two defensive, Missouri guys, and they go unblocked. Okay, just unblocked, and they're going to move the tight end down. Dupree, they're going to move him down, kind of like a wing tight end, and he's going to block down on that defensive end. But nobody's going to get that linebacker, the guy sitting right there at the 19-yard line, and then you look for safety right there, and nobody's going to block him. They're going to hand the ball off this way, and then you'll see the back rotate, and they're going to drive this way. But those two guys go unblocked, and you can see this is a first drive, third down, and very poor execution on the offense. But it gets better.
Yeah. Let me see.
Clip's getting slow to load.
Yup. So
Here we go.
Here we go. So here we go. We got the play right here.
All right. So see, both of them, they're going to come right through there unblocked, and look at them. I mean, it's just both guys not helping right there. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
we
that was the
have our
first one. Not very well scripted. You should do a lot better. Alabama opening drive has not been. As of course through the season, it's like the opening drive we're getting nothing. Now it gets better. Don't get me wrong, but that right there is just poor execution, and two guys are totally unblocked.
yeah, it's
So I
insane.
don't question that one. But anyway, I tell me, I tell everybody don't put a lot of whatever in scripted drives and that kind of stuff. But it's what happens after the opening drive that really matters.
Yup. It's what helps. We gotta get that opening drive ready and rolling.
Yeah, yeah. And so I don't, third down first, and they call that play. I really didn't, really understand that one. Okay, and so you can see right here, Alabama is, this is just typical man free. And what's going to happen is the quarterback is going to kind of telegraph the pass right here. He's going to kind of telegraph it, and you're going to see the safety right there just totally reacting to it, and quarterback telegraphs, and then boom, pick off. It's intercepted.
Yep.
Go ahead. Was that number 3?
Yep. Hold on. Here we go. Let's put it at 1.7. Yeah, that was huge right there. Boom. Number 13.
Well, that thing's taking off on us. It shouldn't be going that fast. It got a mind of its own.
Mm.
I think that was a man free that quarterback. That was the second, the other quarterback that came in, and when Cook got hurt, I think he hurt his hand, and he totally telegraphed that one, and that was Malachi Moore. He was playing man free. He was reading his eyes all the way, stepped in front, and he just took off and made a great play on the ball. Good defense, poor execution on them. Good defense and good play by Malachi Moore right there for us.
Yeah. And we got the stats pulled up. So we were
Yeah,
we had 2 of 9 third down conversions that were completed. Yikes. We can't be having those kind of numbers
that's why.
against.
Yeah, that's why I got that arrow in red. That was one aspect of the game that was not. Most of that happened in the first half, and so that's not. You don't want that right there. But at least it's better than what Missouri had. All right, and then the yellows. Those are the good things. We outrushed them, and then you go down the total yards. We had on that rushing yardage was very good. You look down penalties. Normally we're up in double digits, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And then you look at the turnover ratio. Very good with regard to that. And all those, second string quarterback in there, and he telegraphed a few balls. But the stats overall were very good, very positive. Especially in first, crazy. First thing I look at now is penalties. I mean, they have gotten me so. I think everybody's talking about how undisciplined. Now, if they can continue to cut down the penalty uh, during the course of the next few games, it's going to be a lot better scenario for Alabama. Heading toward the end of the season and possible playoffs.
Yeah.
So that was good. That was a good change.
It was indeed, my friend. It was indeed.
Yeah. Very good.
And all 3 turnovers that we forced were basically interceptions. So it was not a good day for the Missouri passing game.
No, I feel bad for that quarterback. I know he's a good player and good credentials and stuff like that. But yeah, he just too much telegraphing, and Alabama had some good calls. It's kind of a mixture of a little bit of everything with regard to him. But he made some mistakes that first one, and that was that drive, the first drive after Cook goes out, and he throws that, and that was an ugly pick, easy pick, to be honest with you, but ugly for Missouri. Can't have that.
Oh yeah,
And then it's, then as a quarterback, it sits in your head. You just get off the bench. Oh, great! I'm finally getting to play. He's probably expecting Cook maybe to go the distance, and now I get to play, and then boom, first thing is an ugly interception.
true. It was not good for them, but we better day for us than it was for them.
Yeah, it's good for our confidence. I'm not worried about theirs.
Oh yeah.
Got to worry about me.
Oh man. But there is an account we definitely need to check out. There is something we should definitely be confident in. The Voice of College Football Ets account, where you can get some of the top-notch discussion and debates and analysis in all of college football. If you love top-notch, discussions and insider knowledge and so much more in all of college football, go to the Voice of College Football Ets account. And I'll tell you right now, it's always going to be fun. And let's get it over
Yeah,
to 10,000 followers.
yeah, good analysis.
Yep. But now we're on the bye week, and we gotta get really prepared for LSU. And I've been looking at this team. We've got plenty of work to do. What is it that we need to work on
Yeah.
before we go to the Bayou?
Well, first, the bye week, maybe get the players that live near Tuscaloosa, Alabama players from the state of Alabama, Florida, Mississippi, Tennessee. Let them go home. Let them go home. Give them long weekend off, that kind of stuff, and then we get back and uh, then we start working on fundamentals. Get back to basics. Get people healthy, which is always good. Those guys have got the little minor injuries, little nicks, cuts, bruises, that kind of stuff gives time to get healthy, because you wind up having bruises all over the place, especially because those guys don't wear very many pads, especially the thigh, the knees. They got their game pants, they got them rolled up way above their knees and stuff like that. I mean, it's just a lot of nicks, cuts, bruises. Get time to heal. But the biggest thing is let them step away this weekend. Let them get home. Let them have a couple of days off, refresh, and then come back Sunday. Meet Sunday. Probably have just a Sunday meeting and maybe a little film review. Somebody will create some highlight clips and great plays. And then start the week off as boom, LSU week, and this is where we are. This is what we got to do. And if we have any future in this season as far as playoff aspirations, got to make that point clear to them, practice a little better with more purpose, and get back to feeling good about yourself, good about the team. And I think it was great. The Missouri game kind of gave them that opportunity to walk away, feel good about what happened, and then boom, they got the bye week. So this week they're going to be doing a little practice and that kind of stuff. Let them have the weekend, then they come back, and then it's LSU, and let's just get after that butt.
Well, in sports
Gives the
talk with
coaches time
Austin,
to recruit. I'm sorry, go ahead.
it's okay. Sports talk with Austin says LSU really struggled with running quarterback. I think Alabama will scheme up read options and RPO from Milroe.
Oh yeah, definitely. It was good the second half to see Milroe kind of break out. He got a couple of really, really dynamic plays there that helps the confidence. Threw a couple of big passes, helps the confidence. And so now all the doubt. Now you kind of get back to me, who I am. And then the players see it and they respond to it and they say, hey, the guy's back. And so now we're back to you can't. It's Georgia again. It's Georgia week. They got all fired up and with Georgia now it's LSU. This is the game. Got to have this one. If they have any aspirations getting in the playoffs, got to have this game. Well, I got to have them all of them, to be honest with you. But this one more than any of them.
True. Because if we don't have, as Peter Burns, friend of the Voice College Football and SEC Network analyst, said himself, Alabama LSU is basically a playoff elimination game.
Yep, yep. And so Alabama comes back. They've struggled, and then they got the Georgia victory. Boom. Now you got LSU. You take LSU. You got two big victories in your pocket right there. And so right now, I think they're sitting at 14. And really, to be honest with you, there's a lot of teams that are still undefeated. So they're going to stay in that top 10. Even if they lose, they're going to stay in that top 10. Even if Georgia loses, they got one loss, they're going to stay in that top 10. So the situation now is, of course, you got to win out. And if you it's going to be limited how many chances you get to move up. Because Georgia's at what, number 2? They lose, they'll drop to number 9.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then you got Iowa State that's at what, number 7, 8, or is it Iowa State, 7 or 8, and then they lose, they're going to drop to number 10. So the opportunity to really move up is very, very limited. Those one-loss teams are just going to drop a couple of spots. The undefeated teams are only going to drop a couple of spots. So now, I mean, you got to have a break. I mean, you got to have a big win over LSU, get you 2 big ones under the belt, all right, and then the opportunity, one of those 2-loss teams that 11, 12 lose, then maybe you can bump up and get into the top 12, but it's narrowly. Pressure's on.
Yeah. Yeah, if we don't win this one, we're likely out unless there's like a lot of luck for the playoffs.
Yeah,
like,
but this is the only one. Let's say we win out. Okay,
mm-hmm.
This is the only game left unless other people lose, and you can't depend on that. You can't. You got your own. The only way you control your fate is to win out. And so LSU, if we win out and we've got that win over LSU, that's going to get us from 14 into the top 12. It'll get us into the playoff. But you got to take care of that one right now. LSU may stay in the top 12 even with a loss to Alabama. But the only way for Alabama to really move up is LSU. Yeah. Just can't depend on other people falling out.
No. Because now
that ugly loss of Vandy too that people, maybe Vandy will help us with Auburn. Who knows? We'll see.
True. Sports Talk with Austin, if you're still in the chat, what is the rule that I always have about needing somebody to win or lose? For those who are just tuning in, I guess it's my turn to hit that line. Don't ever put yourself in a position where you need someone to win or lose. That's a no-no.
Yeah. Control your destiny. And Alabama, everything rides through LSU. Without them, it's done. And it should be. To be honest with you, it should be. Oh, obviously, it is 3 losses. But, the silly loss at Vanderbilt really, really, really. I mean, if they take care of that game and then they lose LSU, and then let's say they so that'd be what, 1, they lost to Tennessee's 2, they'd still be in the top 12.
Mm-hmm.
But that Vandy is the killer. That's why we're at 14 and blah blah blah. That Vandy loss killed. I mean, it was awful.
Well, we're definitely gonna find out where we're ranked in the playoff rankings next Tuesday in the first official ones. That'll be a
we'll be sitting on the outside. Yeah. We'll be sitting on the outside looking in. We've done this before, last year with the Georgia, win, put us in the top 4 into the playoffs and that kind of stuff. But so right now, you can expect we'll be on the outside looking in. But there's no wiggle room because teams that are going to lose probably are not going to drop out of the top 12.
True. Yeah, we got to take care of business. I mean, we can sit and chill during the bye week, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're gonna need to do that. But before we get to the SEC scenarios, our friend Mark Rogers has a little something to say.
College football is even more exciting with some action on the line. And the games are even better when you're cashing in. And the Voice of College Football is the place to be to get the greatest value. Let's start with my picks. 75% against the money line, 58% against the spread. I've got a 40-year track record. In fact, in 2023, at $100 played per game, you would have netted over $9,300. And guess what? I'm just the warm-up act. Steve Merrill, our ace in the hole, show stopper from Wager Talk. 6 years with the Voice of College Football, over 30 years in the industry. Steve gives us analysis on all the big games, but you can't miss Steve's weekly under-the-radar pick, which went 21-5 against the spread the last 2 seasons. I repeat, 21-5 against the spread. You also get picks from some of our top analysts here at the Voice of College Football, including Steve Dace and Matt Zemek. Become a YouTube channel member or Patreon member for just $99 per month. Go to the main channel on YouTube, click join, and select the betting tier. Do the same thing on Patreon. Make 2024 a winner now.
You heard it here, folks. Come on in and become a YouTube member at the Voice of College Football for $99 a month, where you can get the college football bets YouTube tier, where you can get some of the best bets from Matt Zemek, Steve Dace, Steve Merrill, and Mark Rogers. It's a wise investment, my friends. But you know,
Hey, Jack, pull up that clip of what I called the stone. Is it number 8? Can you pull that one up?
The stone.
There's not a pic. Yeah, it's just a clip. I hope it runs right.
Here we go.
Yeah,
Let's find it, shall we?
it's a game changer right here as far as player attitude.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I gotta say the SEC scenarios, they're I don't know if we'll be able to make the SEC title, but I mean our title hopes for the SEC are slim. Oh, which one was it? Stoned?
Yeah. I think it's number 8.
Yeah. Here we go.
Yeah. This is one of those season changers right here. Players love watching this. Oh, it's going too fast. There's that. All right. So I don't know what it's doing. But anyway, you can see right there, it's Justice Haynes, this long little touchdown run right here. And then secondly, I think I've got it. I'm going to slow it down just a tad. I don't know why it's going slow right now.
Oh, I put it on the playback speed.
Oh, no, just let it play. And so watch right here. Then now he's going to take that hand off. Watch this free safety come up, bam. Lowering that head and hitting the boom right there. And then he bounces off. And then he's headed toward the end zone. Now, this is exciting. I'm going to tell you what happens here. I think I got one more little segment coming up. And you want to talk about poor tackling? The art of tackling in football is gone. Watch this guy lower his head, the free safety right there from Missouri. He's going to lower the head. He does not throw his arms, and he's going to get run over. If he throws his arm, maybe he could grab his legs and trip him up. But he's just going to run slap dab over that guy. Did it not work?
It did. Hold on. Which one do I need to go on? The screenshot? Yeah. Here we go. There it is.
And doesn't play right, does it?
Here we go.
So there's that. It's going real fast. But anyway, you can see him run over him right there. Then headed toward the end zone. Nice little celebration afterwards. All right. Let it ride. Now here's a little bit of the slow motion. He's going to go in here and watch free safety. He's going to come up. Bam! Look at him just bulldog run right over this guy. Headed toward the end zone. Everybody's, doing their job. Look at that receiver out front, creating that little crease for him to sneak on in there. Everybody's happy now. Here's the last one. The art of tackling. This Missouri guy is going to come up, and he's going to lower that head. He's not going to throw any arms. Bam! That's just bulldog right over your butt. And so what happens with this? To me, that's the best play of the season. Okay, because being in a locker room as an old coach and being as a player, and you get in there, you got your teammates and everybody's in there, and they're watching the replay, they're watching the highlights, going through the game and that kind of stuff, and then everybody sees that play right there. And I'm telling you, I've heard it, I've experienced it. Those players just start standing up, screaming, hollering, because that right there is what football is all about. I mean, he just dadgum stoned that guy right there. And I know Vanderbilt. I know Missouri players don't want to see that thing, but I guarantee you, when those Alabama players were in that film room and they saw that, everybody's probably high fiving and that's the play of the season right now. That is a play right there that can turn the season around.
Yeah.
Seems innocuous, doesn't seem whatever, but all frou, and they're probably not going to show it on the top 10 at ESPN. We don't care about ESPN. We care about those players in that locker room. And I'm going to tell you, those players were jacked up on that play right there. I'd like to have been in there when they watched it because I'd be high-fiving too. So that's a play that can turn the season, turn it on its end right there.
It's what we need. We need plays like that.
Yeah, just a little bitty play. Nobody thinks much about it except those players.
There we go.
They're the only ones that count. But I saw it during the game, and I was like, I'm going to get a clip of that. I'm going to cut that sucker out somewhere.
There you go. So we got the SEC standings pulled up. Now, the hopes of going to the SEC title game look pretty slim, but it's college football. Magic can happen. And
yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's hard for me to believe Texas A&M is sitting at number one, but hey, it is what it is. And you can see Alabama, they're on the outside looking in, and but they control their destiny, and they're at that point right there. They need to be one spot in front of Tennessee. If they were in front of Tennessee right now, they would be in the playoffs.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah.
So that is a perilous. That is a position. That is pressure right there, buddy. Now we'll find out about this team.
True.
Going down there in Baton Rouge, Death Valley. We've been down there before, many times. But this team can't let it affect them and go out there and execute, do a good job, and we'll see what happens. Now you got to be a riverboat gambler. Hey, let's play. Who cares now?
Yeah.
Cut it loose.
There you go. Cut it loose. Well, in Tennessee, I mean, we basically need Tennessee to lose 2 more in a way because they got that
I haven't
head-to-head.
seen. I got their schedules. Look it up right here. God, there's so many teams in the SEC now. It's hard to keep up with everybody. And they put on my readers. Tennessee. I know they got Florida this week. No, wait.
No, Kentucky.
Yeah, Kentucky coming up. They got a bye week too, and then Mississippi, Georgia. So
yeah, they can't.
I'm sorry about the Florida, but yeah,
Georgia.
Yeah. I mean, they're sitting pretty. I mean, they got Georgia, and it's in Athens. So right now, you'd think they'd lose that one and put them, at what that'll be around 5-2 at that point in time. But they have to win over Alabama.
Uh-huh.
Win over Alabama. So if both of them wind up, with 2 losses, they have the head-to-head.
True.
So, there you go. But then now, if we, the 5-2, and you got the head-to-head with LSU, changes. Everything changes, doesn't it? You got the head-to-head victory over LSU. That'll put us in there.
There we go. It helps us.
Unless there's a full catastrophe, it looks like you're gonna have. I'm looking at Texas A&M. Oh yeah, well they got Texas, but right now they're undefeated. All right, and so that'd be a 1 loss. So if they just maintain the course, if they lose Texas, they're still going to be in the SEC championship, definitely in the playoff. So right now, yeah, Texas A&M, they're in the driver's seat.
Yeah. It's still hard to believe that they're in the driver's seat for a conference title. I mean, like the last time they won a conference title of any kind was in 1998 in the Big 12. That year they couldn't even beat Texas. Good grief.
Yeah. But you back in, we talked about the season and the schedule at the start, if you remember. So you're looking at Texas A&M, all right? They played Missouri at College Station, all right? Yep. LSU at College Station. they're going to play Texas at College Station.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're talking about the beauty of scheduling. That one right there is an interesting dynamic. It's kind of working out well. I mean, if I were Texas A&M looking going in, I would be feeling pretty good. Most of my challenges are at home.
Yeah.
Minus Notre Dame.
Mike G
So
thinks
anyway,
that Texas
but
A&M will.
Alabama they're in a bad position.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he
Two.
thinks that Texas A&M will lose 2 games. We're gonna wait and see. Although I've got a feeling we're gonna be seen.
It's possible.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean it is possible. Don't get me wrong, but right now they're looking fat and happy. Unless they're confidence drives it.
And we have Georgia and Texas, of course. Like Georgia just has to keep doing what they're doing. They got to keep winning out, but of course they have to dominate Ole Miss. There's no doubt about that. They got to dominate Tennessee, and they really have to dominate Florida. It really doesn't matter what they do against UMass, but I mean, who are we kidding? They're beating UMass 65-0, and they're gonna beat up on Georgia Tech again.
Yeah, that's what we talked about at the end of the season. And I mean, so some of these teams, I mean, they'll find Texas A&M, the final game. I mean, good grief. And then Georgia's got Georgia Tech, UMass, and Georgia Tech, and then they got Tennessee and Athens. The only, they've got Florida at Jacksonville, but I mean, Florida's struggling, and then Ole Miss and Oxford. Now, we'll have to pull for old Lane. Mr. Kiffin open. Hopefully they'll have a whatever, and he can pull some magic there because I mean he's a good coach. But they're looking good right now, squeezing through there.
Yep. Yeah, because I mean, all we need is Ole Miss to win, or Tennessee or Florida to win. We're really good to go.
Right now, it's looking like it's going to be Georgia, Texas A&M in that championship game.
And here's the funny thing, though: we've only had them play each other, I believe, once since A&M joined the SEC. Once, twice. Good grief! Not
How
very
long has
many.
A&M been in the SEC? It's been a while.
Since
A
2012.
little while, not a big one. 2012, yeah, a little while. So yeah,
They've just been
amazing how how this thing scripts itself out.
Q McCall 0328 says A&M is losing this weekend. LSU was a lucky win with a sneak attack. LSU was not ready for the backup. Mike G says, I think A&M has overachieved a little and will regress from this point. Sports Talk with Austin says, so Texas A&M, LSU, Tennessee stand in your way. And in a way, Georgia does as well. For the SEC title race at the very least.
Well, I'll tell you what, that backup quarterback for Texas A&M, oh man, that guy was on fire.
Oh yeah,
That guy was on fire.
Oh yeah, like a friend of mine, Mayhem
We got
Matthew.
to get Milrow like that guy.
Oh yeah, a friend of mine, Mayhem Matthew, was giving a shout out to this guy, and let's say old Reed brought out a lot of mayhem against LSU.
I said it sounds like what I've seen is good kid. Dad's a coach, so he's prepared for the big stage. He's got a good backup group to surround him and keep him focused and making good decisions, which he is.
Yeah. Well, we see Texas, they're going to have Florida ready for them on November 9th. They're going to have Arkansas, and they're going to have Kentucky and Texas A&M, of course. And unfortunately, we didn't play them.
Mm.
Yeah. I'm kind of like, oh, man, I wish we had them on our schedule now.
Yeah, in Alabama, if they hadn't, I don't know what on earth happened at Vanderbilt, but God, look at how it's come back to just haunt them. And it's just like I mean, such a weight on your shoulders after just, I don't know what happened there. But I looked, I saw, I didn't look, I happened to glance and see where at, I guess, DeBoer's first season at Washington, he here at Alabama, same situation. You know, they lost a couple of games there at Washington. And then, you know, next thing you know, they're playing for the national championship as time, you know, giving time. But anyway, we're sitting at the right. I mean, not at the right, but we're at the same situation that happened at Washington. So in the end, we'll know.
Oh yeah. And Sports Talk with Austin is asking us if Kentucky's spoiling anyone's season, spoiling
No.
anyone else this season. No.
You know, and I'm sorry. Here's the thing that I find, and don't get me wrong, every so often you're going to have a great Kentucky team, but it's every so often. But I mean, you can look at in the SEC teams where the interest lies, and all you got to do is look at the size of the stadium. Right. So Kentucky's playing in a stadium of 60,000 people. When your stadium's that small, and you know, if you, of course, obviously comes down to winning and doing things like that, that'll drive demand for tickets. But right now in 2024, if you only have a stadium that 60,000, then you can look at some other SEC teams and look at the size. And so the marketability and the I guess the you know interest. If you only got 60,000 seats, then you know the demand and the importance and the whatever with regard to the program is just not there. And so you look at some of these SEC teams in these tiny stadiums, and you look at others that have 104. You look at Texas A&M, Texas, Alabama, Tennessee, and these gigantic stadiums. That tells you something about the passion. And so Vanderbilt going to have a good team, beat Alabama, but perennially every year you can look at, you know, you can predict it just on size of the stadium capacity.
Agreed.
Yeah. So I think Kentucky's done it. Of course, prove me wrong. I've been proven wrong before, so it won't be the first time. But right now, I ain't seeing it happen. I think Vandy's about close to being done.
I wonder if Vandy can help us out against
Mike
Tennessee.
G. I've been in that stadium, Vandy, about 35,000. I've been in that stadium many times, and yeah, tells you something. I wonder how big their baseball field stadium is.
Ooh, that it's pretty huge. I bet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I'm still just shocked about the kind of season Vandy's having this year. My mind is blown.
Yeah, and of course we talked about it at the very start. It's that portal. That portal. I mean, that's how you build a team. Now, you and I were talking earlier about the recruiting rankings, which now today's world I don't think they're important at all. You build your team in the portal. I mean, if I'm looking at, gosh, I don't know how you would judge it right now because who's making the decisions, but you know the success of the programs now going to be in the portal. And I know Rivals.com and other, recruiting websites and that kind of stuff now have a portal ranking and that kind of stuff. But high school rankings and stuff like that, I mean, wouldn't you sign? I mean, common sense, wouldn't you bring in a junior, senior before you would a freshman? I mean, we got lucky with Ryan Williams, and there's some freshmen that made big impacts, but by and large, recruiting high school players is you go for experience.
True.
I got a junior versus a freshman. I'm taking that dang junior.
Yeah.
The loyalty is gone. Give me the money. Show me the money.
Show me the money. Show me what you got.
So anyway, I know Alabama's doing good in the I think Georgia's number 1, and Alabama's number 2, and got a bunch of good recruits. So does Georgia, and there's other. I think Auburn was at number 8, and with regard to and so Which one is this? Is this
This is on 3.
okay? I went to Rivals. Yeah, you can see Rivals has Alabama with 28 recruits, but you can see you can. But me, I'm looking at. Of course, this is all fantasy. In the end, as soon as the season's over, what's going to happen, Jack, is at the end of the season in December, a lot of these guys, juniors, sophomores, juniors, they're going to start hitting the portal. Portal, when they hit the portal, you're going to see all those numbers start to drop because you only got a certain number of scholarships you can use that you can sign. You have to maintain a certain number of players, and so you're going to see that number right there is going to change. They're going to pull those scholarship offers and they're going to offer them to portal players. I hate it for the high school guys. It's NCAA's going creating this monster.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
teams are offer a high school player, a 18-year-old player or 17 like Ryan Williams. They're not going to offer him a scholarship if they've got somebody with equal or better skill who has experience. So you're going to see those numbers kind of flip, and it's crazy.
really crazy.
Yeah.
But I am excited about what our recruiting class be bringing. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing what Keelan Russell will bring.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of good ones out there. It'll be interesting to see if you coach, you have to pick and choose. Am I going with this freshman? Or am I going with and it's hard. It's really hard. The one thing they still want to do is get them on campus, and during the summer and all these clinics, that's where you can make a lot of determination right there. But just looking at film, I mean, you can't just look at film. You want them in, at a clinic, and you want them on campus where you can put them through little whatever drills, that kind of stuff, and that's where you really find out what you're getting, the maturity level. And then just talking to somebody. A lot of times you're going to sit down and talk to a player. Just talking to somebody tells you something about intelligence. How smart are they?
Well, we see our guy from Pittsburgh, Eli Holstein, seems to be doing just fine. Pitt's unbeaten. I mean, they're like that forgotten. They're like the forgotten child of the conference. Nobody's talking about them, but all everybody's talking about is Clemson and Miami being unbeaten. It's like let's see some more of Eli Holstein bring some magic. I mean,
yeah, exactly. So it's going to get interesting. We're headed to those big rivalry games and rivalry week, and so it'll be end of the season is always a fun time.
True.
A lot on the line for some teams and not much on the line for others, and so the teams that don't have much on, they just get jacked up. It's my final, whatever, hoorah! And I'm just going out and go crazy. So that always makes it very interesting.
Oh yeah. So yeah, the 2025 recruiting class looking pretty good. We should keep it at number 1 as of right now, and we have been known not to. We have been known to be a recruiting behemoth. I mean, we are the Alabama Crimson Tide, so
they always recruited real well, and players wanted to play for him because they knew how good he was, and he was going to hold them to account. And so, obviously, traditionally, Alabama's been a pretty good recruiting school, and will continue to be, hopefully, in the future. But I think everything's going to change. I'll really be interested after this cycle to see what happens with regard to how many high school players are signed. I think it's going to be lower and lower.
Agreed. But yeah, it'll be fun seeing what happens with and I'm really hoping, because I know that if we beat LSU, we've got good things coming ahead, but I don't want to count Oklahoma and Auburn as easy wins, because it's I've learned that lesson from Vanderbilt, where it's just because they look like an easy win doesn't mean they are. I mean, we look at in Oklahoma, the last time they lost 3 straight games in college football prior to Saturday was in 1998. That's when they had that's when the Big Lebowski was in theaters and VHS was still the thing.
Yeah. VHS, yeah. And it's interesting what's going on out there. But I don't get it. You know, they got money. They got, it's all going to come down to money. And interesting which schools have all the financial backing and all the financial, for the NIL and all that kind of stuff. And who's got a lot of money? Most people would be surprised is Arkansas.
Oh,
You got Walmart and all that kind of out there. Arkansas's got a lot of money. A lot of money. Texas A&M, Alabama, good money. Georgia, and then of course some universities they don't have the funds that kind of are available. Mississippi is a prime example. Mississippi has way too many programs, football programs. You got Ole Miss, you got Mississippi State, you got Southern Miss. You see where I'm going? You got Alcorn State, you got Jackson State. I mean, you've got so many, Mississippi Valley State. You got so many universities over there, and the population to match the population is, it's a hard dynamic over there in Mississippi. So when you look at NIL money and you see, what Arkansas is the prime school in the state of Arkansas, University of Arkansas. You got Arkansas State, but who else is competing with Arkansas? You got Mississippi, and you got a lot of competition there. Georgia, I mean, you got Georgia, and Georgia Tech, but it's the admission and the academics there are so hard to overcome, and so Georgia is primarily the one school in the state. But so you go down to Florida, you got Florida State, Miami, you got Central Florida now making a move, South Florida, and so you got the population's a little bit larger there, but still there's competition between these schools, and it helps some Arkansas, but it hurts some Mississippi.
Yeah.
So
Well,
the financial edge of the and that comes to play really significantly now in the NIL age.
and even though Auburn's not likely they're not gonna be playing in the SEC title, of course. They're certainly not a playoff team. I mean, they're looking to get the bowl eligibility, and they certainly want to play spoiler for Alabama because I mean,
Always, Alabama would be the same if Auburn was whatever. Alabama would be the same. Would be the spoiler, and you know everybody knows Alabama Auburn. Usually it turns out right. Every now and then there's a couple of upsets and crazy stuff that happens, but yeah, Auburn's going to lay it on the line against Alabama this year.
oh yeah,
That'll make their season.
Oh, that's true. Because I mean, that game for some reason is giving me some spooks. Now I know, like the last time we lost to Auburn was the comeback in 2010, and prior to that was 2006 on November 18th of 06 on CBS. But still, though, it's not wise to be counting them out. I mean, they are nowhere.
That game, Bo Nix game, and it was at Auburn.
Yeah.
And if I remember, something crazy down toward the end of the game, and then they did the little scripted got Alabama. It was going for it on fourth down and lining up and then faking a punt, and Alabama jumped off sides or did something. It was crazy ending to the game, but yeah, I mean, Auburn will pull out all the whatever to take down Alabama. Make my season, screw yours. And that's good to recruit on and good heading into the next season. But yeah, make mine, screw yours.
Agree. But yeah, it was it's gonna be interesting. Agree. It's one of the greatest rivalries in all college football.
True.
Yep.
And there have been so many epic endings. I mean, epic endings. You go back back in '80. Well, we know the '70s punt, punt Bama punt, and then Van Tiffin. What was that? '85, '84.
1985. Keith Jackson.
Kicked that game winner. And then you had the Patrick Nix. The pass at the end zone there toward the end of the game against Alabama and Stallings and them, and then you had Tuberville and you had some crazy stuff going on there, and then the kick six or whatever they were doing. Kick,
Yeah. Oh, and we had
Tried the field
84.
goal.
And we had
Huh?
84. And we had 84 Alabama Auburn where we stopped Bo
Yeah,
Jackson.
run, Bo, run. Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Bo went the wrong way, and I remember the defensive back. He had some comment after the game. I crushed the dude. Yeah, that was back with Ray Perkins, and then the next year was the kick with Van Tiffen.
Yep. Like,
oh yeah, it's always something weird.
it's like,
Seems like it.
I bet you when people look back at like the 1984 Alabama Auburn game on YouTube, they'll be like, "Wait a minute, do I hear Al Michaels calling an Iron Bowl?" Yes, you do. He called college football for almost a decade, from late 70s to early 80s, till he moved forward with NFL football for Monday Night Football, of course, and called a little bit of MLB baseball.
Oh yeah, and we forget. Well, all right, so we're forgetting one game. What was the game where the guy poisoned the tree? Remember that guy?
That was
Remember he-
2010, and it was that weird loser dude named Harvey Updike, where he
yeah,
was calling
Updike
the Paul
poisoned the-
Feinbaum show.
he told on himself on Feinbaum. I
What
did
a
it.
dude. That's what I did. That's what I did. You know, I poisoned that tree.
Yeah.
Don't you care about
No
trees?
live out there at the there, you know, the where they toss the toilet paper. Yeah, he poisoned the tree. What do you have, a bucket of Roundup or something? He's walking around poisoning. Yeah, he passed away.
There we go.
Yeah, Updike. Oh man,
Our friend from Michigan at the Voice of College Football, John D'Animo, telling everybody, don't forget, tell your friends, your family, and the cashiers of Publix about Jackson's work here at Alabama at the Voice of College Football. That's right. Don't forget to tell everybody about what Johnny and I are doing on Monday afternoons on Crimson Tide Live, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Central Time, every Monday afternoon right here. And don't forget to tell the cashiers at Publix about the magic that Jeffrey at Only Talk Sports and I are bringing on the Alabama Call-In Show Thursday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 p.m. Central Time, where we take your calls. We don't care about who you pull for. We just want you to come on in and call in to discuss the latest in Alabama football. And how do you feel about them? Do you love them? Do you hate them? You're welcome to come on in to tell us what you think. And also, every Saturday. Oh, yeah. And every Saturday after the game, when we have a game, because this week we don't have a game. We're just kind of sitting and chilling for the bye week. Thank you so much, John. I appreciate it, man. Well, we appreciate it. And also, every Saturday, Johnny and I, and sometimes Jeffrey, will give you our post-game analysis on each of the games in all of Alabama football, including the Alabama LSU game a little bit after it's done next week. And I'll tell you something, it'll be wild. We will be right here, whether if it's a win or a loss. That I can personally guarantee. And we're even going to give you our post-game analysis on the Mercer game. Although, I'll be real, the Mercer game could be like a 20-minute post-game show. Maybe a 30-minute show, but who knows?
Never know. Crazy things happen.
Yes, they do.
All right, man.
Oh,
I'll be over in Florence tomorrow teaching the young ones.
There we go.
Back at
and
it.
There we go. Sports talk.
Tomorrow, in Scottsboro.
Here we go.
Go ahead.
And sorry. Yeah, Sports Talk with Austin says, I used to dislike Alabama, but Jackson changed my mind on them. I appreciate it, man. I thank you. It's I do my best, and it's
convert them. Hey, convert them one at a time. bring them to the fold.
There we go. And you can come on in and become a YouTube member at Alabama with the Voice of College Football. We're at $2.99 a month, where you can become a Crimson Faithful member. And if you become a Crimson Faithful member, you get a loyalty badge next to your name, custom emoji to use in the comments and live chat, and you get a member shout out. For $4.99 a month, you get priority replies to comments and access to monthly hangouts with us right here on the Alabama channel, and by becoming a Saban disciple. And for $9.99 a month, you can become a Bear Bryant legend, where you can not only connect with us on social media, but you can give out any type of content request, like literally anything. Like, what topics do you want us to cover more of? Do you want us to cover recruiting? Do you want to see like classic games? Do you want to do like a watch party, like like a little hangout session? Do you want us to get who would you want us to bring on the show? Well, we'll make sure to bring them to you. Neither rain nor sleet nor snow, nor any type of bad weather or nothing is going to stop us. That I can personally guarantee. We will make sure we fulfill the request. We will make sure you get your money's worth. That I can promise you. And
all right, man. My voice about gone.
Uh-oh.
I don't know, whatever pollen, not pollen, but whatever's in the air is just scratchy.
Oh, it's those dead gum ragweeds, I tell you what. Well, somebody who we hope hasn't given out their voice due to pulling for the New York Yankees in the World Series is our buddy Matthew Miller from Texas at the Voice of College Football for the 27th edition of Longhorns Live, where he gives a recap on the Vanderbilt matchup against Texas and how does Texas stack up to past national champions. I'm going to tell you right now, that's going to be a fun one. And, of course, you can see our friend Adam Lamparello on another exciting edition of Rutgers Scarlet Knight Live, where he gives his take on the state of Rutgers football. And that's going to be a wild one. Don't forget about the Big Ten show tonight from our buddy Darren Graham. And no worries, Darren. If you're watching, Mark made an awesome decision bringing you as the host of the Big Ten live show. That I know for a fact. Because he will be having on Maze Madman to discuss what is going on in the Big Ten. That's going to be a wild one. And last week's guest, Zach Remulus, the host of Missouri Live, will be discussing his take on what's going on with the Missouri Tigers and what they need to do during the bye week. And that's going to be a fun one. And we got the third edition of the Ohio State Buckeyes call-in show. That will be a fun one where Zach from Big Ten Football Talk and JR will take your calls and as you give your take on the Ohio State Buckeyes. They don't care who it is. They don't care if you're a Buckeye or an Alabama fan or Michigan man or a Michigan State man. They will take anybody's calls. And later tonight, I will be having episode 54 of the Jacksonian with Patrick Murphy, the beat writer for Buttnuts 247 at 247 Sports, where we discuss quite a lot on the Ohio State Buckeyes, including the preview of Ohio State Penn State, the takeaways from Ohio State Nebraska, and the targeting call on one of the guys at Ohio State being overturned as of today. And I'll tell you something, it's a wild ride and an awesome one. So tune in at 7:15 p.m. Central Time, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time for a wild ride on episode 54 of the Jacksonian. And Mike G, you're welcome to come on and tell everybody what you think in the chat for sure. And with that being said, we wish you all a happy Monday night. Stay safe, stay warm. It's cold out. Good night, everybody.